Now, should a man, not knowing very much about watches, open the back of his own, he will look inside it and he will see an abundance of springs and wheels and other little bits, the particular purpose of each being unknown to him. He may, in fact, come to the conclusion that perhaps that wheel or that spring is unnecessary to the working of the watch, and if it were removed, it should make no difference in its operation. Well, of course, we know certainly well that the makers of watches put everything into them that are needed and nothing superfluous. So we cannot go tinkering about in the works of our watches without expecting some harm to them. But this is not necessarily so in regard to the world around us. I'm reminded of that in reflecting upon something that happened in New England some years ago. For years, the farmers there had complained of a certain sort of blackbird. These birds were considered a great pest in that they ate some of the corn that the farmers grew. And they grew so annoyed at the loss of corn from these blackbirds that they at last obtained a measure from the legislature placing a bounty upon them, so that every boy with a gun went out and began slaughtering the birds in vast numbers until they were all but exterminated. Then the farmers discovered that it is not only their corn that these blackbirds ate, but a species of worm that lived in the ground. That these worms, now being freed of the depredations of the blackbirds, grew in enormous numbers. And the worms fed upon the roots of the grass growing in their meadows. And so in the end, the farmers lost far more by the worms eating their grass than ever they had lost by the blackbirds eating their corn. And so in the end, they were sorry the blackbirds were gone and wished to have them back again. Thus, the order of nature, the laws by which nature is regulated, are not always obvious to us. And when we would intervene in the arrangements of divine providence, when we would tinker with the balance of nature, it is very easy for us to do more harm than good. And we ought to be very circumspect and we make such interventions, as the farmers did in regard to those blackbirds.